Hey, how's it going? Hey, we're back and we're cool like the Fonz. How's it going for Lansky? Oh, let me adjust my mic here a little bit. All right, let's do this. Back for another day of development here. We got Godot bot as our co-pilot here, sitting by, making sure we're doing the correct things. I'm chilling. I think I don't like the way I rewrote this. I rewrote this with like specific functions for each type of camera movement. I think I want like, it's looking very Undertale of you. It's the input handler. The input handler can look like this, but I think I'm gonna just have a function of like, it'll be like game manager and it'll be like, these are all the ship viewer functions. So I'll be like game manager, like dot, I don't know, change view or like update viewer or something like that. And then it will pass in an argument, and the argument will be like shift down or shift up or twist left or twist right, zoom in, zoom out. That way I just don't have quite as much spaghetti code. But I don't know, I guess I'm maybe just shifting. In that case, I'm just shifting. I mean, I could just have shift viewer and then pass in whether it's down or up. And I could have twist viewer and zoom viewer and then pass in whether it's in or out. That's probably the better way to do it. In which case, could I just make an axis out of this? This just be an axis? The editor one is going to be more complicated. I think I'm okay having, like here I've written out like swap block tool, and I need to just pass in which block tool it is. Which will probably just be an enum, right? Seems reasonable. I also want to go back to our systems thing here. Kind of don't want necessarily an autoplay or auto load. I think I maybe want to do, I'm going to get rid of some of this stuff that we don't know about. Oh God. How do I readjust this? Align. Or do I have to manually resize it? Let's see. I want to take a more of a look at this, but I don't really want to think too much about things like the path, the crew manager, the path manager, and stuff like that. I don't want to get into stuff that we're not really dealing with yet. Can I move this whole group at once? That'd be so cool. Oh, I can. I want to think more about like, I also don't really want to think about the state manager. Or the scene manager. I think the scene manager would be the one ending up setting the scenes. instead of passing everything back up to the game manager. I want to focus purely on the auto tiler tool and the shipbuilding tool. Those are the things I want to focus on. The Godot pyramid scheme. Yeah, exactly. Now with the shipbuilding tool, so we're gonna have a shipbuilding tool and or a shipbuilding manager and an auto tiling system. Calling them all managers is a little misleading. Most of them are just like systems. Manager, system, like it's like basically the same thing, right? I don't know if those things need to live underneath the ship manager. Because those things almost send information to the ship manager. But maybe not. Maybe it all goes to the ship manager, and then the ship manager, it just depends on what state it's in. So we'll have like a state manager. We'll probably send everything from the game manager to a state manager. And the state manager then will divvy stuff out. So we probably want to expand this stuff. Let's trim some of this stuff. I really like this tool though, for sure. So we're gonna make a card for the state manager. This is the state that's gonna be like, are we in the menu? Are we in the editor? Like, where are we? What are we doing? Kind of need all of these to like align center, or I'm gonna lose my mind. But can I not change them like that? Can't change them at all. Okay. State manager. So we'll have a state manager, and we're gonna have a scene manager. Nice to see you finally loving Obsidian. You said many times before that you've not utilized it properly, but between this and the last jam, it's come in handy. Taking notes of what it's capable of. I know, I only just realized about this thing, and I really am not a documenter or a diagrammer or things like that, but I need to do it more, because, you know, you only have so much working memory. Like, okay, so the scene manager is going to go up here. We're going to get rid of this. So these are going to be the higher level managers. These are going to be like some of the lower level managers. Path manager, I'm going to get rid of right now. So we're going to have a ship manager and a crew manager. They're going to be separate. I'm just going to not worry about the crew manager right now. So I kind of want to gate access to the scene tree to just a few managers. Like, I don't want a bunch of managers managing the scene tree. Oh, that confuses the arrangement there. Right now we have a ship manager. So sub-managers, this C# land you're referring to? Yeah, at the moment, yes. That's kind of what I'm thinking. So the input handler sends input to the game manager. The game manager sends everything to the state manager. The state manager will evaluate what state we're in, and then we'll send stuff forward. So if we're in, like, let's say, let me get rid of this. So let's say something like, what should we call this? I'm going to call this the yard manager. The yard manager is going to be the entity that manages shipbuilding. So the state manager, if we're in the edit, if we're in build mode, we might go to the yard manager. If we're not in build mode, maybe we and then the yard manager maybe talks to the ship manager. If we're not in, maybe we're in like what should we call like the regular action state, like the regular game state that's not like the edit state. I don't want to call it battle because it's not necessarily battle. It's like call it the live state. Calling it yard manager is a little weird. I'm gonna add some stuff here to make it clear. Can we color these? We can. I should color coordinate these. So like we describe managers differently than we describe states. So if we're in like the, I'm gonna add a card here. I'm gonna get rid of this. I'm gonna say, let's say we're in like the ship build state. So if we're in the shipbuilding state, we're in the shipbuilding state, that's when we send input to the yard manager. Can I color this? Ooh. What's my color states? Green. Live, overworld, main, runtime. I kind of like runtime. I think live is good. I'm gonna call it maybe like the live action state. There will be like live action state. Maybe running action state. Shipbuilding state. These don't have to be a single line. I can be a little more shipbuilding state. Call this building state. Call this we call this running state. So if the game is just running, refer to it like this. How did I make this a weird? There we go. I want this to be like lined up. There we go. So the running state. Actually, maybe we'll have modes as well as states. We could call this like a build mode. We could call this like action mode. Build state. I want to use consistent languages. Maybe we do want to think of modes differently than states. No, they're states. And then there's going to be substates. I don't know about if I love this color yet. I need to figure out how I want to do the colors. And then so beneath this stuff. So beneath the action state, we may have running. So we may be in the action. We may be in like the ship boarding, the ship build, I don't know what you want to call it, the action here. But we might be running, or we might be paused. And you can do different things. Like if you're in the pause state, you should be able to input commands. But you know, other things shouldn't run. I'm gonna edit this to say a gameplay layer. Actually, we can keep calling it submanagers. C# layer. Scene tree. Actually, let's make these different groups. So these are... The states are all going to be a layer as well. I really like this tool. States. Game states. This is gonna get wild eventually. I'm looking forward to it. We could even show how data is passed around, but we probably won't because that's not super clear. I don't know what live manager is. That's maybe not the right word. So for the build state, maybe there's like structure, or maybe there's like free, like you can free build state. Like you can just rebuild the structure if you want. Like you could have a free build state. Can I select more than one of these at a time? Yes, I can. You might have a more limited build state. Constrained. Call this unlimited. None of this is what we're working on right now, but I'm getting a little carried away. We're really only working on the auto tiler and the ship builder. But I'm having fun thinking about it. Call these substates. I don't know. Or modes. I don't know. I don't know. I hate naming things. I love naming things, but I also hate naming things. Including this in the diagram is maybe not helpful because I'm not sure if it affects the actual flow of logic, but I want to include it right now because I want to see what it looks like. Because, like, regardless of what substate we're in, we're still going to the same thing down here. Same here. But I guess whether we're unlimited or whether we're constrained might affect whether... like how things go but beneath this. So maybe I have this in the wrong order. Maybe it should be build state, then yard manager, then unlimited or constrained. Not sure about this part. But like whether we're in the yard manager or the live manager, we will eventually run the ship manager, right? It's just gonna it's gonna depend. We're gonna run it differently. If I grab the whole group, does it move the whole group? It does. Get a little more room here. But we don't care about all of this right now. What we care about is like the yard manager here. I think that's what we're going to focus on right now. Maybe we actually do this a little differently. Maybe the running system goes to the live manager. And then this one goes to the plan manager. So this lets you do like planning stuff. They still both go to the ship manager. The aligning tools are really great here. I think having this loop back up here is going to be tough. I think what we're going to end up having is like, we're going to duplicate the exterior here. It'd be kind of cool if you could get this board to wrap. The ship manager will probably go down to the scene manager, and then the scene manager will go to the scenes. Let's do that. So we'd have like another card down here. Oops. So we put like the scene manager down here. Scene manager's in this group. Scene manager. And out here we would have scenes. Can't I add this to a group? Oh, because it's just one thing. Well, let's add a second thing. Make a group, and then we'll just get rid of this thing. Scene tree. You looked away for 2 seconds and suddenly you look like the digital version of the Pepe Sylvia meme. It's just tripled in size in a minute. It got a little bigger. I'm just trying to think of this, how I want to flow this. It doesn't really matter. We're going to probably focus entirely on a very limited set of this. So the scene manager will lead to the scenes. Then down here, can I make a copy of this? I can even set a background for these. That's pretty cool. Just try to copy this. Copy, paste. Beautiful. Love it. Love to see it. This will lead back into the input handler. So we have kind of a circular thing where like the input handler talks to the game manager, talks to the state manager, all of this stuff happens. And then we end up back at the scene manager, which controls the scenes, which are also in the scene tree. And then that goes to the, and then the scenes talk to the input handler, and then we're back to this. We've closed the loop. I think that's easier to read than trying to do some insanity otherwise. It's still, this still doesn't make a lot of sense. Jish Maji. Every time you see someone else use Obsidian, you realize how much I criminally underutilize it. No, that is me. That is me, Jish. Also, welcome to the channel. I only just discovered this canvas functionality like a couple of days ago. I'm really bad. I've filled out like a third of these pages over here. Like, what I do have is like incredibly limited, like the game loop. It's like just this little section. And I've put links in, and then the links don't go anywhere really. And they just reference back to the thing. And then like most of these are empty. Like I want to fill some of the ones around story are more filled out. Like if I go to my narrative structure, I have like a narrative structure thing here. Does this have anything? That one doesn't have anything. But like this one does. So like I'm better at writing stuff out when I'm looking at narrative stuff. But I'm struggling to use this. I'm trying to use it more. Like I think I laid out a little bit for the Starship editor. Yeah. I have a hard time keeping these up to date, but I'm trying to do better. Can you link the cards to other pages? Yes. So the cards here could be pages. So Game Manager could link to, or I could convert it to a page, right? I think that's it, convert to file, file name. How do I do this? I think I can do it. I call it the game manager, but I could probably just call it game manager. Let me see what happens if I say this and I say game. Let's say if I say the game manager. Okay, yeah, it creates a file. So I can link this to one of these here. Why did it make it so large? So yeah, you can definitely connect these to files. I kind of blew it here. Undo all of this. Fox Shadow, I'm sorry, but this looks nothing like FTL. Look, we're system diagramming. Welcome to the channel, Fox. This is the kind of variant of FTL we're trying to make. We're trying to make like a side-on isometric one. Don't break it just to demo something. This is kind of the look we're going for. Right now, we really just have a tool set. I can demo this tool set a little bit. Right now, we just have a ship editing tool that's like really bare bones. It's just an auto tiler and a placement system. So like this is the, we're gonna have a vertical ship unlike FTL. So there's gonna be like 5 or 6 decks. And so you're gonna need to, I'm gonna build this. This is a tool for me to build the game. I don't know if this is gonna be a tool for like end users, but at least it's for me. So let me put a deck on top. Let me put some walls. This also has a compartmentalization system, so it can tell if a space is exposed to outer space or not. It's this mid gray if it is. Otherwise, it forms this light gray when the system can tell that there's a internal compartment. So we can do like atmospheric stuff. We can put doors, single doors, double doors. And the mind-blowing thing with this is that we can rotate it. So the ship can turn or the camera can turn. Because we're going to have a little more positionality than you typically have in FTL. Like your ship is going to have an orientation and you might have a ship in front of you or behind you or beside you. So we're changing a lot, but our North Star is still FTL. We want to achieve some of the similar magic. Yeah, we could keep building. We could say, let's make another room down here. And then let's make like another deck. And down here we make another room. And we partition it. Put some doors. And we have a cutaway system so that you can like look into your ship. Kind of like The Sims. Jeesh, thank you for the follow. Really appreciate that. Rotate the whole thing. So we're really early days yet, Fox. Hey, you know, oh yeah. We're cruising. We are working on, already looks better than Starfield. Wow, I'm gonna cry. We've been working on additional shapes, build shapes, so we can put angular pieces on the outside. These ones look kind of janky. I did them last night. This is where the perspective kind of breaks down. But they're like angular floor pieces. These are like angular wall pieces, and these are like combination angular wall and floor pieces. Our auto tiler currently can't handle this, so part of what our refactor is doing is making it so we can put in directional, unique shapes like this and have the placement correct and have the auto tiler work correctly. We also need to make miniature versions of all of this so that we can have the external ship view work where you can see more than one ship at a time. So we're working on that. They're half scale. I'll do that in my own time though. It's like kind of boring. Unless I get tired. We might do another set of these towards the end of the stream for probably this set, because it should be pretty easy. But we need to add some new shapes, because right now we're just making like flying housing projects, which is not great. I'm an expert in complex tile sets now. Kind of. I mean, I'm causing an enormous number of engine warnings from one of the modulations that I'm doing, which is a little scary. But nothing's happening. I get to meet one of the people who made the Godot engine in a couple of weeks. I'm gonna ask them what that is. And you're like, can you help me with this? This is weird. Space pool win. Oh yeah. That's part of what I want to do with this game is show, it's like the joke about how there are no toilets on a starship. I want to have a little bit more, since we have a bigger ship, I want to introduce a little bit more life stuff. Like I want you to have to actually have barracks, like crew bunks built into your ship and stuff. We'll see. What we do need to do is I need to get the miniature ships at least mocked up so that I can do a scale test so I can see how big the ships can be. Because right now we have like an arbitrary ship size limit based on like what I can fit onto this screen. But this is the screen, this is the ship zoomed all the way in so that like this is the only thing you see, this plus some UI. But when you zoom out, you're going to see this ship along with a number of other ships in the other corners, depending on, you know, how many ships you're up against. So I need to make sure there's room for all of this stuff. But this is our shipbuilding limitation right now, just mainly because of this visual limit. So it might get a little smaller once I've done that test. I don't know. I don't really want to make it so you have to scroll around to see your whole ship. I think that would ruin a lot of it. I don't really want to do that. Yeah, we need to work on the code. And maybe some systems diagram stuff. How are you? How is everyone doing? How are you doing, Geesh, Fox, Eno, everyone? How are y'all doing today? If we go back to our little state diagram thing. Zoom out. So right now we're going to presume that we're in the build state. So we're going to draw a direct line from the game manager, maybe to the yard manager right now, and then add some of these intervening stuff as we need it. Because right now we don't need a distinction between the build state and the action state. So there's no real reason to deal with this. Calling this the yard manager is a little confusing. It's like the shipyard. That's what it's. My love of like short titles is being ambiguous. You're doing good. You're having some bean water before work. Oh, nice. I'm also having some bean water. Some hot bean water. All right, so we can draw right now. For right now, we can draw a straight line from the game manager to the yard manager, and the yard manager will just deal with the ship manager. Yeah, I think I'm gonna move the ships or the managers to be, oh, I don't know, because here action state running, we actually do go to different managers. But I'm thinking for build state, there's like unlimited, which would be like free build mode, which would be for like me to build new ship designs. But maybe you'll have a constrained ship build mode, which will be like in game where you can like rearrange furniture. Maybe like level up components of the ship, like you can upgrade your engines or something like that. And then the yard manager will make changes to a ship and then send that down to the ship manager. So yeah, I think right now we're just going to go straight from the game manager to the yard manager. Shipyard. I should call this like build manager or something like that. Not yard manager. It's like not a good name, but I might not change it. Bean water in the morning, leaf water in the afternoon. That's how it's done. You got it. You got it, Jeesh. And then so the yard manager will build our stuff, ship manager. So right now we can hook directly between stuff. So this diagram is useless for us because the inputs are going to go straight from us to the game manager. The game manager is right now is going to talk directly to the yard. The yard is going to rebuild the ship. The ship can do maybe the auto tiling thing. Ship can handle the auto tiling. And then the scene manager will handle the actual updates to the physical scenes. So we're probably just going to have an... I should probably have a separate thing, which is like the thing as it is now and the thing as it is planned. I'm going to group these together. Planned architecture. Then I'm going to start copying things over. Give me all of this stuff. There we go. Then we'll draw out the actual system architecture here, just so we're not like losing our minds. It's gonna be really straightforward at the moment. These get grouped together into sub-managers. I really enjoy this tool here. Oh man, I can have groups lead to other groups. Oh, I'm losing my mind. This flowchart tool is really good. So I could even just say the group manager, like the manager just leads to this group. And then I can describe the group. So what I should do is instead of doing this, I should say the state manager goes into this. And then depending on what state we're in. I don't know if I love the visuals of that as much. There's probably some opportunities to unclutter the system that way. Lee, Michael, if you were building the game solo off stream, would you still diagram like this? You find yourself doing stuff like this to communicate, but less with yourself. Historically, I don't do this, so you're probably right. Eduardo Ferreira. Hey, welcome to the chat. What is this state manager called? If you're referring to not this state manager, but like this program, this is Obsidian. This is a canvas tab in the program Obsidian, which is a really great like management tool. It's an alternative to like Notion and stuff like that. Okay. I need to make these arrows straight. They're like slightly curved. It's driving me insane. Be straight. There we go. Now I gotta subtly adjust every other one. No, I can't get them to line up perfectly. We can't proceed with the game until this happens. But yeah, I'm trying to be better about this, Lee. I'm historically not good at documenting what I'm working on because I agree with you in that I don't totally understand the utility of it when you're working by yourself, but this project is becoming big enough and I'm gonna be working on it for long enough that I'm starting to see the utility. Make this bigger. All right, and then these are all gonna be part of a group called the actual architecture. Now we just need to make this architecture here so that we're not liars. So we're gonna have this really nice planned architecture, which is gonna just get bigger and bigger and bigger. We've also got a planned architecture here, or an actual architecture here that's like much dumber and simpler at the moment. And actual is a stretch. We haven't actually coded any of this. Before you quit enterprise dev for game dev, you would show managers diagrams like this to give them a rundown of architecture and decisions the team was making. This is, yeah, that's an interesting thing about what changes when you go from working in a team to working by yourself. It's kind of amazing, but like, I don't know what you would say, but like, I feel like the vast majority of effort in a team environment is communicating. Like, doing the work is a relatively small amount of the effort compared to communicating when you're on a team. And then when you're by yourself, the feedback loop is so quick and so tight. You're saying there's actually a famous book on creativity that shows loads of techniques on how to create whiteboards that aid your ability to think and persist, recur on ideas. You think in a way this sort of thing is a whiteboard? Yeah, I would agree with you on that. You've definitely been on teams where the effort is talking. Yeah, exactly. And then you spend all this time agreeing. You spend a week agreeing on a thing you spend a week agreeing to do a thing that takes like half a day to implement. And then next week the requirements change, so you just have to do it a different way anyway. Like, it's like horrible. Okay, so I captured our existing input map, because right now this whole process that we have here, this whole system, this all exists in GDScript land, pure GDScript scene tree stuff. And I don't want to change that. So this version of it is going to continue to exist, because that's also something I do differently because I'm streaming, is I am loath to break the project. Like, if I can't run the project at any given moment, I start to have like a panic attack. If it's for more than like an hour. So we're going to keep this relatively functional portion, and we're just going to start developing a parallel track in C# and try to reach some parity. Not just a parity, but we'll re-architect it so that we can support these all these new art pieces. Sorry if I keep flashbanging people with this page. I need to pick a new background. Yeah, we need to be able to support these. And what's unique about these, whereas like these blocks have no directionality, these blocks have a direction. They have a vector 3 direction. So you need to account for that. But you're game jamming in groups right now, and you're honestly doing a better job than your teams you've been paid to be on at communicating and working. Yeah, it's amazing what passion will do for a team dynamic. Right, you're worried no one will be able to track it if it's broken. Yeah. For me, I just need to be able to show it. Like, there's new people coming in all the time, and I need to be able to show the project. And if I can't show the project, I am not happy. Okay, so I naively rewrote this from the existing input action map, because right now we're just like full on undertailing it, where we just have this enormous process chain. Well, I went too far. We have this enormous process function that just reads our input and then just does the thing. Reads the input, does the thing. So we're not doing it like this anymore. We're going to I'm gonna add a thing to this. I'm gonna add another manager here. Is this not part of the group? Okay, so things just belong to the group if they're physically in the group. Curious. So if I do that, oh cool, it just uses an area thing to evaluate whether something's in the group. That's smart. I'm gonna add a card here. There's gonna be a tile manager. That's gonna be where the auto tiling happens. We're gonna remove this. Close enough. This arrow is not perfectly plumb straight, but we're gonna live with it. Is there like a snap option that I have? It's on. Okay, well. There we go. Nope, still didn't do it. It's because these boxes are slightly different. There we go, got it. So the inputs will go to the game manager. The game manager will talk to the yard manager. The yard manager will talk to the ship manager. The ship manager will talk to the tile manager. And the tile manager will talk to the scene manager. And the scene manager will spawn the scenes. And then the scenes talk to the input handler. And we have the full loop. Honestly, this last part we can skip, but I'm just trying to describe how this will work. Like right now, well, no, I guess the scenes will talk to the input handler because we need to send their input. I was wondering how I was going to get tile positions, and I think I just figured it out. You could add an on-screen timer to make it funny to measure those no compile minutes. Oh, that would be a fun stream thing. It would be tedious because there'd have to be like a button I'd press that would be like, that would be fun though. That would be fun. I have like a button I press that's like game broken build or something like that, or like game can't run. Call it like our refactor timer or something like that, and just have a timer that counts up in the corner anytime I make the game unplayable because of a refactor or feature addition. That would be pretty funny. That would stress me out. I would need a way of leaving the timer running overnight, maybe. Maybe not. Maybe not. Maybe that would be too cruel. All right, so this was the naive solution where I just took all of the if-else's and then popped them into a dedicated input handler that knows about the game manager. And then I naively just wrote a function for each of these button presses, but that's like not how we're gonna do it. We need like an input enum. Should we just put it under the input handler since the input handler is a global variable? Actually, for a lot of these, we could just have like numbers. Like we could just say shift viewer down and then just pass in -1. Shift viewer up and pass in +1. You know? Does Godot care if I just write +1? I kind of like doing that sometimes. All right, we got ads coming. Lee, is this a refactor or is there some new capability the structure won't give you? We need to start with a refactor, sort of, because we are trying to achieve a similar functionality, but we do need to re-architect it in such a way that we can eventually do some things that we aren't currently doing. So I would say it's the worst possible world because we're doing a little bit of both. Okay. So this is how we're going to do it. We're just going to call this shift viewer, twist viewer, and zoom viewer. That way there's less functions. And we'll just pass in the zoom. So let's go to our game manager and let's start implementing this. To Rider Land we go. Kind of exciting. When the brakes hits, I'm gonna pause for a few minutes. The brakes will hit at any moment. Your game is going to have consoles with different alarms. You could use the same assets. Oh, that's true. That's a good point. That's a good point. Some Star Trek alarms. Like the little crew people running in panic and a console showing compilation error. Oh, that's funny. I do need to pump up the stream quality. We heard a little bit of some of the sound effects that I've added, but I've added some Star Trek sound effects that I can play. Like here's one. I hope this doesn't blow anyone's ears apart. It's like a phaser sound effect that will play on a specific circumstance. We already heard the teleportation one. It'll beam me up. Got some fun stuff. All right, break time. I'll be back in a few minutes. I really appreciate everyone hanging out. We'll be back soon, and we'll start writing some code finally. All right, we're back. Thanks for hanging out, everyone. All right, let's write some code. So public void, just wants the autocomplete's pretty good for Godot. And I haven't used writer with Godot before, and I'm kind of excited. What are we calling this? Shift viewer. Float. Shift. Call it a mount. Why private? Can you not tell that other people are using this? Oh, one usage is out of scope solution. I see. That's fine. What are you complaining about? Make shift viewer static. No. I get distracted really easily in Writer because it's constantly telling me things about my code, and I'm like, oh, what's this? What's that? But I need to like ignore it and just focus. Twist viewer. Oh wow, it really knows. It really knows what I'm doing. It's like I feel like you're just writing the same thing again. I like that. I like the auto completion. Visual Studio does the same. If it ain't a massive red error, you're not interested. Yeah. Like right now, it's like these shouldn't be public. It's like they should because they're being called. And then if you look into it, it's like, oh, it's not being called by. And then I want to just tell it to ignore this sometimes. There's too many options. There's like too much going on here. Oh well. So we've got our things. So these will eventually do what we want. Then we got to think about the rest of these. So I've split this out into keep placing blocks, and stop placing blocks. That feels fine for now. What we do need to do... No, that's fine. That's fine. What we do need to do is swap block tool for the different types of blocks, and I need to decide how I want to pass that in. Probably an enum on the block. Which is right now, like, here, block GD. Right now it's just a thing with a comp, which is my composition enum. We probably want, right now this is probably gonna become like a component sort of deal. Maybe the block is the entity. I don't know. I don't want to do a full ECS thing partly because our system is so grid heavy that most of the time we're going to be relating to things by its grid positions. So I don't feel like I need to do, like I feel like the concept of an entity is not super strong for us. But there are things like crew members, and crew members are going to move between things very often. And we'll be interested in things more than just their position on the grid space. So maybe it makes sense. Toggle erase mode. So is the game manager going to keep a lot of this state? That's my question about having this kind of system down here where like the input manager feeds input to the game manager, and then it goes, well, here it goes through this whole thing where it then goes through all these different states and then picks this. So I guess, yeah, so I guess I feed information from the game manager to the state manager, and then the state manager feeds the information to the yard manager depending on what's needed. And then we just keep feeding information down. I think that's better than keeping a bunch of state on the game manager and then just having the manager ask back up what you need. Because if we just keep feeding it down, we can do something more like a command pattern, which is probably the sort of thing that we want to do eventually. I believe in the Randy style of game development where you start by doing the most like caveman-like solution. And then as you need a more sophisticated solution, you just build them. But you don't start by building the sophisticated solution. You just start with whatever the simplest thing is that will work. Yeah, I'm confident about most of these here. What I'm not confident about is if I really need to tell, I probably do need to tell, I don't know if I need separate functions for start placing, keep placing, and stop placing, because they're very different. Keep placing, maybe not so much. Like whether we've started placing already or this is a new placement, that could be like state that's like further down. Excuse me for my sniffles here. Oh, sorry, I muted myself, and then I think I kept talking. I did that for 10 minutes yesterday. I need to not do that again, where I muted myself to like cover up some embarrassing sound I was about to make. And then I just didn't unmute myself and kept talking for 10 minutes. Yeah, thanks for Lansky. It took a long time yesterday to figure that out. Because my NVIDIA broadcast is really good at getting rid of weird sounds, but not if I've recently talked. So there's like an attack problem or something. I don't know. Oh, nope, it was there. I'm sorry you heard me sniffle. This is why I mute. Testing the limits of NVIDIA broadcast here. I'm just kind of allergic in the morning. It usually goes away by the afternoon, but in the morning I'm like pretty allergic. Okay.
It's an idea, Uncle Ben.
Allergic to getting up? Yeah, exactly. Can I reference stuff outside the solution easily? Like if I wanted to reference our utility, that utils, so not my utils. So I can't reference my utility script. It doesn't know about it. Okay, so the GD world and the C# world for my code is very far apart. Maybe I need to move all of my code to C#. I didn't exactly want to do that. Partly for like the marshalling costs, but also like I don't think it's necessary. Like I think we're gonna have scripts like that just exist here. I guess we could do some of that too, because we're gonna need some stuff at the end for rendering the ship that doesn't really need to have anything to do with or care about the C# world. I just want to keep those worlds as separate as possible. the Godot and the outside world here. Okay, let's start going for the easy wins here. Let's just add the rest of these. I guess we'll do it alphabetically. I don't know if I care. Public void swap block tool. We're gonna need a parameter for this. We're gonna have else. Oh, what did I do? Clicking things. We're gonna need toggle. We're gonna need toggle block tool. No, not toggle block. Toggle erase tool. I guess we could call it a tool. Kind of think of it as a mode more than a tool. Come on, keyboard. Oh my god. I have a very weird keyboard, and sometimes it does not behave. I have like one of those Kinesis keyboards. It's like split in half and like has thumb keys. I've had it for a while, and I still like just am totally messed up by it all the time. So here's the interesting part, this process part. So the process is where we're going to drive all of the sub managers. So I guess, so these should take in inputs, put the inputs in a queue, and then we pass the inputs along in the process manager as we iterate through the different things. Something like that. Something like that is what we're gonna do. I didn't have a lot of time to think about this. I mean, I did, but I didn't think about it. Call this erase tool. It's actually a mode, it's not a tool. Because it's a mode that affects the implementation of the block tools. So like if you've selected, I don't know if I want that in the long run. The way it works right now is that like if you're drawing and you draw a wall or a door, then when you go to erase mode, if you're on door, it just or wall, it just erases the door or wall. But if you're on floor, it erases the whole thing. Because I figure what you would want is like sometimes you'll want to erase the whole thing, but sometimes you just want to erase the wall. So we could have it do that, work that way, or we could have it be iterative, where like the first time you erase, it erases surface things, and then you have to erase it again to erase the floor beneath it. But I don't know, that seems kind of terrible. Like if you have to erase twice just to get rid of the floor if something's on top of it. Not totally sure what I want to do for that. We're going to simplify this. We're going to get rid of multiple, because right now we're checking when we just press it down. We're checking when we release it. We're checking if it continues to be pressed. We're gonna swap this out and say just if is input is action pressed ship editor place blocks. We're just gonna have one, and we're going to not, because right now we rely on releasing the block placement button, but we do it for stupid reasons. We do it, why do we do it? We do it down here. We do it down here to clear up some pending block history thing, which is like some block state that we hold on to about like what the block was before. We don't want to do that. If we switch to more of a command pattern thing where we have discrete or even stacks, we could have state stacks of the blocks so that like every time you make an edit to the block, it just becomes a new stack on the edit history. And so you just retain all of the the history of how you were building things just on the stack. We either do that or we retain the history in the commands. I don't love that as much, where each command would need to remember the state of the board before it was implemented. We probably want a combination of the two. Probably want to send the edits as commands and then have a stack state of our block history. We'll see. Because then we could actually just have a stack of commands and the block histories and the commands. We're going to do something like that, in which case we don't really need to tell the system when we've released the block placement key. We don't really need an is. I'd rather just have it be like a block placement. Should it be a verb? It should probably be something like more of an action, like use block tool. Swap block tool, use block tool, place block. It might not be place block. Like if we've got the erase mode applied to the block tool, then the use the block tool thing would do something different. So we're going to say that. We're going to call that. Ship editor, place blocks. That's just like left mouse button, isn't it? We need some intermediary here because we need to also figure out where. I guess we can just send the mouse position. Global. Get global mouse position. This is how you get the global mouse position. Do I not have access to this from a node? I guess the manager can get the global mouse position. Let's try that. gd.get hold on. I'm still not totally 100% on how the difference between GD script commands are in C# versus Godot. We're going to look at that real quick. Differences, API differences. Let's see if we can find global mouse position. Oh, we can't. Mouse. All right, let's see. Oh. The game manager's not going to be able to do it either. This is a case, so much of Godot assumes you're using GDScript. You caved and just kept using GDScript, even if C# is probably nicer on the whole. I'm using a mixed style at the moment, because when I picked up Godot last year, I I wanted to just learn GDScript, and I like it. And I think in every case where I'm directly interacting with the engine, like the scene tree and stuff like that, and the API, I think I like using GDScript. But we're trying to make a middle section of this just totally outside of the Godot process of the API stuff. We're gonna just run a bunch of simulation in like pure C#, and that'll be nice. But I am trying to have the seams, the points at which they interact, still be like mostly GDScript. Now that they've got types, GDScript is pretty inoffensive. Yeah, I largely agree. I like it. Write the rest of these out, and then we'll decide how we want to implement the rest of them. Swap block tool, save ship design, load ship design, undo last edit, redo last edit. Probably shouldn't do this alphabetically. It does help me find stuff. Good idea, keep it separated. You'd love to be able to run GDScript as a standalone programming language and have modules that feel as if they have zero dependencies. That'd be interesting. What kind of stuff are you working on, Lee? On the side? In GDScript or in Godot? Or are you doing game... I think you said you switched to game dev professionally. Is that still just your own? Are you solo devin? It sounded like you were. Save and load. Yeah, I don't love how I'm organizing this alphabetically here, but... Probably rearrange these. But I just want to get them down, and then I can rearrange them. Load ship design. Save ship design. I think I'm going to reorganize these conceptually and use like code regions to like separate them apart. Is that all of these? I think so. You're so, Leandro, hey, how's it going, Leandro? Forget GDScript, we need native TypeScript that compiles to LLVM. You can dream. It's good to have dreams. Lee, you're solo, networking through jams and building a community of folks whom enjoy jamming together. Oh, nice, nice, nice. Are you in the, Game Jam Central Discord? There's some good people there. It's a small Discord. Let me see if I could get you an invite. It's a small Discord. It's largely Twitch streamers and associated game developers who form teams to do game jams. It's run by like Adagon, if you know Adagon Dev. But yeah, if you're ever looking for, you just built up to a team of 4 doing Godot Wild Jam together. That's awesome. But yeah, it's a cool. That's their Discord that I just posted in the chat. It's a cool group. You were in a game dev league. Oh, you're a generalist? You find yourself most interested in VFX shaders. Spent the last 6 months writing C++ and OpenGL. Oh, cool. You're in game dev league Discord for a while, but it was kind of massive and super diverse, so you actually had a hard time finding people in the same mindset. Haven't heard of Adagon? Let me shout him out. Adagon's great. Adagon does, if you've ever seen Score Chasers, which is like a Ludum Dare event, Adagon organizes that, where they do like Score Chaser runs of a bunch of Ludum Dare games. But yeah, they participate in virtually every game jam, so check them out. They're doing a game jam like every weekend, it feels like. It's kind of incredible. All right, we're kind of at the end of the stream, end-ish. We got like maybe 20 minutes. I'm gonna make some art. I'll hang out and I'll think more about how I want to architect some of that code structure tomorrow. So we're gonna make the miniature version. So we've already made the miniature versions of these. We're gonna very quickly make the miniature version of these. It should be pretty easy because I have a pretty good process for this. I have a quick bite of my breakfast first. Apologies. So it's kind of cool. I can make these shapes. I basically spend a lot of time calculating the seams. So these are like the seams for each split. And then these shapes are built out of the different seams. So building the shapes is actually really easy once I've decided on the seams. Deciding on the seams took forever. I've rebuilt each of these shapes like 3 or 4 times until I got exactly the right look that I wanted. I like working at pixel art at this small scale because to me it's really easy to evaluate whether something looks correct or not. But it is tedious sometimes. So we just place these over here like this. Then we get confused. We just carve out the stuff that we don't need, like we're a sculptor. And what we're left with is the shape that we want. It's kind of nice. Worked out kind of nice. Bam, we've got our shape. Regular Michelangelo over here. For you, the hard part of game dev is dealing with assets. You can do pixel art, but you're absolute garbage when it comes to 3D. Oh, I can't do 3D, Leandro. You're struggling to get VR stuff done. Oh yeah, VR probably has to be done in 3D, huh? Yeah, part of the reason I chose pixel art, I mean, I'm not much of an artist. I need like really explicit rules about how I can draw stuff, and that's part of the reason why I'm doing a very small resolution. It's a lot easier for me to evaluate whether something looks right or not. I think if I picked even a slightly higher resolution, like you'll see like the people are so tiny, it's super obvious me to tell if a pixel's in the wrong spot. But if I just even doubled this resolution, I think I would need to start knowing about anatomy, and I would fall apart so quickly. This is the uncomfortable truth about games. Games are art, which means assets are king. Yeah, true. Well said. Pixel art is a wonderful thing because it's a language that gamers speak, and it's pretty approachable to the non-artist. Yeah, that's what I'm finding. That is what I'm finding. I don't have a bone in my body. Or an artistic bone in my body. I do have bones in my body. I'm not just like a bag of meat here. I definitely don't have an artistic bone in my body. I've never been able to draw. Like, I can't draw freehand or anything like that. Zero bones. That's what they call me. They call me old no bones. I picked the wrong one. Meatbag game dev, that's me. I have no bones, yet I must flee. To quote the best Star Trek show that has ever been. Oopsies. There we go. That's the shape we want. Put it down here, maybe? I don't know. Drawing everything, having to draw everything 8 times is a little rough. Because I need 4 directions. Well, technically I need to draw everything 4 times. I have 4 directions, but 2 of them are mirrored. So I draw it once, I get to copy it once. And then I have to draw it again in miniature. So any asset that I want for the exterior of the ship, I have to draw 4 times. It's a little rough. But that's part of the thing about having pixel art. You can't really interpolate it. Kind of just gotta draw it. Is this right? This doesn't look right. Ah, I see why. drew this too tall. Is the entire game isometric? Have you used this? Is that the isometric, the ISO box for Sprite? So here's the trick. I have used this, and actually a community member of ours made us a variation of this tool that might work for us. The game is not isometric. So isometric would be like this. Let me just do this real quick. It's over by 2, down by 1. So an isometric box would look like this. But yeah, that's a good tool. It kind of violates some of the rules that we have. Like, I think their tool would actually do this instead. So we do this. They would do this, I think, which is not what we want. So that would be an isometric box. Let me just finish this real quick. Yeah, I'm using a different camera angle. We're using a dimetric viewpoint that's 4 by 1. So we go 4 over and then 1 down. So we have much more of a side view. And that's why we're having to draw stuff in perspective. Because if it was isometric, it would be pretty trivial to draw some of this other stuff. So there'd just be one correct way to do it. But yeah, we're doing this. We're making life difficult for ourselves. But I like it. I really like the look. It's how we get this kind of side-on view of like the bridge. And part of the reason we're doing that is just because the characters are drawn side-on. So like a character file. So like these characters are drawn side-on. Because that's all I can really manage. If I was trying to draw these in isometric, they'd look like little weird little top-down little chibis. But we're drawing like full-sized, mostly in perspective. Characters. And that interacts way better with our 4:1 side. So the background is kind of more in perspective than the foreground characters are. Like these chairs aren't in 4:1. They're like also side on. So we have kind of a weird clash of perspectives, but I think it works for us. I think we get away with it. I'm gonna save this for next time that comes up in conversation. What a fun coincidence that dimetric spells DI. It's our logo. Fun coincidence. It's an unusual perspective, that's for sure. Honestly, it's way less confusing than isometric. There's a weird illusion in, say, Pokemon games where the roofs of buildings are massive and the faces are squished. Yeah. You love how the bloom glow blends with the noise on that render. Oh yeah, the render we did in like Photoshop. I want to add some of this kind of effects. We're definitely going to have some post-processing and try to achieve something like this. But this is definitely something I did, you know. Obviously, it's a render. But we'll see how close we can get. Thank you. The wallpaper is pure art. And you're out there saying you were no artist. Hard to see a humble artist these days. I made this over a year ago, and it's the only complete piece of concept art that this game has. So it's gotta look good, you know? It's gotta look good. Are you gonna do bump maps? I don't know. I don't think so. We might have normal maps. We might end up do some normal mapping if we end up having some light. So that I'm pretty sure about. Oops. I gotta do this. But we need to draw our normal maps by hand. Just a little rough. Or paint them, you know, we don't have to draw them. Same diff. Oh yeah, that might be a naming convention that I don't know. I'm like largely self-taught, so I'm not good at some of these names. Same diff. You were using the circa 90s term for it. Oh, okay, okay. Oops. All right, do we have time to finish these? Yeah, I got about 10 minutes. Yeah, we may. I haven't really messed with Godot's lighting system, and I'm kind of scared about how it's going to interact with our side-on system. So I'm kind of hesitant to commit to using it. But if we can get it to work for us, we definitely will. You were going to say the shadows beneath the seats can be done with that? Yeah. We can do some stuff like that. Yeah, it'll be curious to see how we end up doing that. I mean, we have an auto tiler, so we have a really sophisticated system. Really sophisticated. We have a somewhat sophisticated system for determining what tile to draw based on what's nearby. So it would be pretty easy to say like, oh, the computer monitor is here, so draw, and a seat is here, so draw the shadow here. So I think you get the look I want if you pick the right elevation, property on light TV, and position. Yeah, we are in a complex world because we have a lot of Z indexes, and we have things obscuring things from the side. I definitely want to experiment with it. I'm just concerned. I'm concerned about getting it to work in a way that looks good. Why am I here? Why are any of us here? I'm painting things. Here we go.
When I walk, boy.
Just forgot to get this line. Forgot to get rid of this line. Blap. Oh, should probably color it first. What do you do? I'm gonna need to do a bunch of versions of this with different colors. but we're doing it this way first because these are the most likely and it's the one that helps me figure out what these look like. Hey, I Heart Pandas, how's it going? We're working on some stuff. We're working on miniature versions of some of the new art so that we can have a zoomed out like multi-ship viewer mode. That's kind of how we're closing out the stream. How are you doing? It's easy.
I saw it when I walked, boy.
Doing good. You're gonna have to subscribe soon so you can step up your emote game. I need to step up my emote game. I've got like 3 emotes. I am proud of the doors. That cracks me up. But no worries. It's just fun. Doesn't really matter. I mean, I appreciate everyone who does, but I have a day job, it pays the bills. Not really stressing about any of that stuff. This is confusing. It's this one, right? Yeah, it is. Okay. Am I bothering? I need to add this one. Add this one back on top so I can actually see what's happening here. Oh, that's a little awkward. That can't be the right one. Or this shape isn't going to be as easy to draw in this format. Okay, yeah, that's not the right one. Okay, it's not. Okay. It's this one. It's weird, you have to pay attention to whether it's a back face or a front face. You only have 1 emote pack, you really want to get more of them. You should stream more than once a year. Yeah. I've been drawing my own, and that's kind of an important thing to me. But that's like, because obviously I have like this pixel art style that I'm trying to retain and like keep everything like very much on brand for me. Nice. That's yours? That's pretty good. All right. That's pretty compelling. That's better than any of mine. What an emote. All right, how are we doing on time? Not great. but I think we'll make it. Time to crunch. Crunch it up here. This is this twice? Yeah, okay. Starting to get more familiar with which of these patterns are common. Or which pattern corresponds to what shape. Even when it's a weird one like that where you splice it and then put it in backwards. Keep forgetting to toggle between the continuous and not. Okay, so I think part of this is wrong. So this is good. Oh. It's weird. Oh, it's like this. That's correct. And then you do this, and we put this one here. Yeah, that's fine. New Hafu. Huh, YouTube put a live stream at the top of your feed. That's new. What's up, streamer? Hey, yeah, hi. It's good. Yeah, I'm surprised. Believe me, I'm as surprised as you are. This is new to me too. YouTube decided to start promoting my stream like last week. And so now people are actually seeing it. It's kind of blowing my mind a little bit. But yeah, we're working on an FTL-like, kind of a diametric kind of Star Trek style, kind of faster than light game. We're working on our tool set, which is a shipbuilding tool set. You actually found my stream by YouTube, Landro. Oh, yeah, I'm having a weird experience where my YouTube viewership is like double my Twitch viewership, which is kind of unprecedented for this sort of thing. Usually people have like 10x the Twitch viewership as their YouTube viewership, at least live, like not like VODs. But I don't know, maybe YouTube's the new place to be for live streaming. It's working for me. I really appreciate everyone clicking on the thumbnail and checking it out. But yeah, we can build these multi-level ships. Fix the ceiling there. We can put doors. We can build rooms. This is really limited in terms of the types of materials or the types of pieces that we have so far. We can rotate the whole thing. So we're gonna have these really cool custom built ship designs that we're gonna rotate. I'm gonna snooze the ads because we'll be wrapping up in a few minutes. You have a lot of game dev. You came from YouTube as well, Lee. Oh, wow. Okay, thanks, YouTube. You have a lot of game dev stuff recommended to me and this popped up? Hell yeah. Yeah, I really appreciate everyone checking this out. It thrills me to be able to share development of this game, which we'll be working on for a few years. We're gonna be doing this for at least the next 4 years. Yeah. YouTube put it on your feed too just now. Hell yeah! Thank you, YouTube. Thanks, Papa YouTube. Once we finish this auto tiling tool and shipbuilder tool, like once we have a new version of it with all the additional pieces and everything in it, I think I need to make my first like pre-recorded YouTube devlog, because I don't think YouTube likes long form like multi-hour live stream content. I guess they like it more now than they used to, but I need to start making like actual devlogs, and I think this tool set would be a really cool one. I should start aiming to make like a couple devlogs a year or something like that. I think. Really just blew it up. Lord, pathfinding sounds like it's going to be a bear with custom ship layouts. It might be. It might be. But it's still a pretty small world, our grid. Our grid is like, at the moment, our grid is 15 by... Someone just got phaser blasted. Thank you, Leandro. Blasting Meow Mew Lemieux with the gifted sub. Really appreciate that. Thank you so much. Wow. All right, well, I have no meetings right now, I don't think. So we're going to keep going a little bit. I'm feeling good. Everyone's hanging out. I'm going to try to change my schedule soon so that we can keep streaming for longer. I'm in talks. In talks with moving my work schedule around. So hopefully by November, we've got a new streaming schedule that's a little more generous. Let's finish these up. Just hang out for a bit, and then we can wrap it up. Oh. I don't know. I think our shields might be down to 50%. With another gifted sub from you, Leandro. Thank you so much. It's way too generous. No need to be that generous. All right, which one is this again? I just checked and then I forgot this one. Such hype. Oh no. I'm sorry, Filansky. You've been unseated. I might change it to reset every month or something like other people do, but honestly, we don't. Historically, we haven't had enough people doing it for that to make sense. But we'll see. But I appreciate everyone. Whether you're just hanging out, you don't need to throw bits to have my appreciation. But it does help. I just like hanging out with everyone. Doing game dev, especially solo game dev, is a very lonely process. You really don't have much. You can share stuff every once in a while, like occasionally you get something done, you want to share it. You can put it out there, get feedback, but most of the time you're just crunching along in obscurity, in a lonely obscurity. You're not doing dev on the clock, are you? No, I'm not. Don't worry about it. I'm technically hourly, so I'm all right. That was wrong. I colored that wrong. All right. How much time do I reserve to game dev? Oh, thank you for the bits, I Heart Pandas, with the giant panda dance. Yeah, it does help to have folks that know what you're up to. I reserve at least 2 hours of on-stream time a day. I want to bring that up to 4 hours. That's my goal, is to do 4 hours, approximately 4 hours of on-stream game dev a day. And then also I work on off-stream, but the off-stream time is less reserved. I have a couple of co-working events that I go to, like virtual co-working events that help me set aside some time for that. That's also somewhat dedicated, but I would like to do 30 hours of game dev a week. I probably do more like 20. Because especially when you're a solo dev, if you're not doing it, it's not happening. So there's a lot of pressure. Like, you don't have anything going in parallel. No moral concerns, just that your work can be claimed legally by your employer if you are. A bunch of indie devs get caught by that. Oh, yeah, yeah. My work definitely owns all of the work product that I do during the workday, but they can have it. That's just like boring stuff. But yeah, I don't make games professionally, so I'm not in danger of that, but thank you for looking out. What shape is this? Is this not this shape? Is it one of these? Having a hard time here. Oh, it's this. It's this shape. Right? This one? That makes sense because it's the foreground piece. It should have the foreground. These seams a sort of match the foreground versus background. But sometimes there's a weird swap. I like don't totally understand all of the rules that govern how this stuff works yet, but got something close. So I think we take this. And then we take this. And that's our piece, right? Now we just get rid of the cruft. We get rid of this. We get rid of all this. Let's carve out our David here, our beautiful statue. Get rid of that, get rid of that. Place the outlines. Color everything in. Has AI caught your work yet? No. I'm sure you could recreate my voice from the like few hundred hours of live streaming that I've done, which is a little concerning, but that's true for pretty much anyone in the public domain nowadays, probably. I've seen AI try to do pixel art. It's okay at it. It has, as always, it has an issue being consistent over time. Any way to get rid of ads? You can't even hear me. Oh, Leandro, the irony. You gifted so many subs, but you got to take care of yourself first. Oh, for Lansky. Saving Leandro from the ads with the gifted sub and the phaser blast. Blasting them with the gifted sub. Thank you so much. Too kind. Y'all are making me misty-eyed here. Is this the weird one where it's, oh, it's over here. Is it this one? Yeah? That's easy. All right, there's too much hype in this channel today. I can't handle it. You're making me miss work is what you're doing. You are, but it's okay. We'll wrap up soon. Hey, Venom Weed. How's it hanging? All right, that's it, I think. Let's do a quick check to make sure that this kind of all matches up correctly. This needs its additional little things here. Oh, no, I actually need to trim these. I hate these little single pixel standoffs. We cannot have that. We put that on, put this on. Oops. This on correctly. The outlines I know are a lot at this scale, but the auto tiler will fix a lot of this. That's it. That's that shape at least. All right, we got another set of miniaturized hull pieces. Beautiful. I'll do the floor ones. We'll do the floor ones later. The floor ones are like weird. This is the one case where like the perspective kind of breaks down. You know what would look good? I don't know, Venom. Frolansky, you got a dash. No worries. Welcome all the new people. Yeah. Hey, still needs work. Good morning. Man, I do need to start streaming later. This is when everyone shows up. Yeah, I'm hoping to have a new streaming schedule next month so we can go later and longer. Get a 4-hour stream instead of a short 2-hour stream. I feel like I barely started with a 2-hour stream. Layers, preferably more than one. Oh, I got. I've been slain. Look, we have version control. What do we need layers for? This is also just the hull shape exploration. This isn't like the sprite sheet. You also come around. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Hope you're doing well. Still needs work. And you Venom Weed and everyone else who's been popping in. We need to wrap it up soon because I need to get to work. I'm pretty sure I don't have a meeting right now that I'm missing. But I do have a full work day. And every time you hear we're going to wrap it up soon. Yeah, I'm trying to change it around. So I'm going to try to get it so I start my stream like a few hours later than I'm currently starting it and then go for like 4 hours. So I'm trying to hit that time, like the time like when everyone's just getting off work in Europe, which is like right now, apparently, is what I'm told. So I'm going to try to start around this time. I'm going to try to have a new start time that's around the current end time. And then go for like 4 hours. So hopefully that works for people. Hopefully that works for more people. And then on a side note, it'll be just a lot more time to stream. It'll be like 4 hours to stream instead of 2. So still in negotiation. Can't make any promises. Gotta make sure that, you know, my day job is still happy with my availability otherwise. Leandro, for you have lunch watching your stream? Okay, cool. That's nice. That's real nice. But yeah, I'm gonna try to make this the new start time, approximately. But yeah, I should probably wrap it up now. Should we do a raid? Should we raid somebody? Let's raid Symbol. I think Symbol just started, and they're doing a card game. They're making a card game in Godot. We'll do that. And YouTube people, thank you for checking me out. Thanks for hanging out. Really appreciate the new viewership we're getting on YouTube, on the YouTube side, and how it's bringing people onto the Twitch side as well. I've been Digital Iliad, and I'll be back tomorrow. Same time, same place for now. Keep doing the same thing. And yeah, I appreciate everyone for spending part of their day here with me. And I'll see you next time. Bye.